8:35 right now, and today marks the first anniversary of the West Texas fertilizer plant explosion. Investigators have yet to determine a single cause of the blast that killed 15 people and injured nearly 200 others. Now, lawmakers are considering some tougher oversight of chemical facilities. And here to talk about some of the pending legal issues is Fox 26 legal analyst Chris Tritico. Also joining us this morning is the Tox Doc, Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Okay, the status of litigation right now. A lot of it has come because of the plant explosion itself.
Well, that's what created a mountain of litigation. The problem with the litigation is there's no insurance. This company had $1 million in liability insurance to cover what's a couple of $1 billion in claims, and so the people that have been injured by this explosion and the negligence of the company are never really going to get fully compensated because there's just not enough insurance to cover this.
Okay, legally, who do you hold responsible though, and can you go after them at a later time?
Well, the suits are in place, and so yes, the litigation will continue. Judgments will probably be entered, but you're never going to collect. The only asset this company had is gone because it blew up and it's been destroyed, and so these people are never going to get fully compensated. Hopefully, they have their own insurance, and their insurance will cover their houses.
That is really sad. Now, there's something else, Dr. Khan-Mayberry.
Yes.
We know it was a fertilizer plant. We're talking about ammonium nitrate that exploded. Do you think 1 year later there are some lingering effects from maybe the ammonium nitrate or any other chemicals that may have resulted from the combustion that took place?
Well, at the time, there was a very high acute exposure. That high acute exposure can cause some short-term effects, but in the long term, there can be a lot of chronic effects from that initial exposure to the ammonium nitrate. So there are some symptoms that you can look for. The problem is that when ammonium nitrate is inhaled or ingested in the body, it is reduced to a nitrite, which is highly toxic. It can cause some acidification systemically. It can also cause higher than normal amounts of iron in the hemoglobin, methemoglobinemia, and so that is a problem. That's something that you have to look for in the medical history long term. I mean, when you've got nitrites in the body, those are potential carcinogens or cancer-causing chemicals that are now in your body.
So this is something that the residents who have been there, who are still staying there, need to monitor for a very long time.
Yes, their physicians need to monitor that. I mean, because initially, even though they told them to shelter in place, they probably did not seal their windows and doors with the wet towels to try to block some of that ammonia from coming in. Plus, it took a long time for the fire department to get there. So they had that really high acute exposure, which can have chronic effects. Furthermore, that plume, we don't know how quickly it was blown out of the area, due to wind directions at the time. So you've got some, long-term initial exposures that can cause lasting effects.
Legal issues regarding that,
well,
are they major?
Yeah, well, the major issue right now is the legislature going to do something? The result of deregulation is what we have right here, and that's that there is no ability to recover because there's not enough insurance, and so the legislature is now looking at minimum insurance and criminal penalties for companies that store more than they're allowed to by law. That's the thing that the legislature needs to look at right now.
And that is culpability.
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Legal analyst Chris Tritico and Tox Doc, Dr. Noreen Khan-Mayberry. Thank you.
Thank you so much.